Dealer said I need a new engine, bought my car for peanuts, then sold it without replacing engine. I brought my car into the dealer for service because I heard an engine noise. The service center said my engine was shot, and the only option was to replace it. I could choose a used engine with more miles for $8,500 or a brand new one for $12,000. Fixing it was not an option. They said it had to be replaced. So I asked them to make me an offer. I still owed money on the loan and didn't want to invest nearly $10,000 on top of that. They offered me a few $1,000, citing that they would have to replace the engine to sell it. So I took the offer and came up out of pocket to settle the rest of my loan. A few days later, the new owner reaches out to me. Dealership left my insurance card in the glove box, asking how I enjoyed the car and if I knew of any problems. I told him my story. Well, that was news to him. They never said anything about a replaced engine. And he paid the full used price on the car. Odometer reading, exactly what it had when I brought it in for service. So the new owner pulled the Carfax and it doesn't show any replacement engine, just some tire balancing, a replaced engine computer module, and some brakes. Now we're both pissed. What are my options, seeing as they stole the car from me under false pretenses and never actually replaced the engine? The difference between what they gave me and what he paid is over $13,000. Edit. This is in the Midwest, U.S. I would contact you state agency that regulates car dealers. Explain what happened. They essentially committed fraud in getting you to sell well below value based on their telling you the engine was blown and them sold it at book value without it needing any work. If this is an official dealer for the car manufacturer, not an independent used car dealer, find the car manufacturer's direct contact information and let them know. They will not be too happy that one of their dealers is defrauding customers. Car engines has serial numbers on the engine that went with the car from the car manufacturer. Call manufacturer and see if the serial number on the engine still matches what's supposed to be there for the car. Everyone is giving good advice, but some things you should know. I am a vehicle inspector, so this is what I can tell you. If you need a new engine on your car, the odo won't change. So like if you have 10K on your odometer and then the engine gets replaced. Let's just say a used engine with 5K on it. So they replace your engine and put a sticker somewhere, generally under the hood, and it says the mileage the car had and the engine had when it was replaced. So you can keep track of it. They won't reset your odometer. It will still say it has 10K on it even if the engine has 5. You can have cars that have X amount of mileage on the body and X amount of mileage on the engine. And it can be different numbers. When you want to know the mileage, you have to do some math. But it's very rare, if ever, that the odometer is reset. So have the guy who bought your car to look for that sticker. If a car is sold with a replaced engine, then it should be disclosed. I believe legally, but absolutely ethically, on the dealer end. We call this a TMU, true mileage unknown, unit. Next thing, and I tell all my friends this if they are looking for a car. Don't trust Carfax. Use them as a tool but not as a deciding factor. Sometimes Carfax takes years to update things. Not only that, not everything gets reported. Whether an accident or you name it, there may be a significant delay in the information they get. Not always, but more than you think. So the Carfax is a good tool but doesn't tell the whole story. If I were in both of your shoes, this is what I would do. First thing first, I would take it, or have him do it, to at least one other dealer or mechanic and just have them look it over. Personally, I wouldn't tell them why, just to keep things objective. Most if not all mechanics can do a pre-sale inspection and they go over the car and tell you kinda everything wrong with it. Personally, I WPULD pay the $60-ish give or take to get one or two done and see what they say. Do you have a sheet that says what the problem was, why you needed a new engine? I would see what the new mechanic says. See if it still has the problem, if the engine was or wasn't replaced. Just see what comes up. Get someone you trust, not the dealer. Personally, not any dealer in this situation, but an independent mechanic. If it were me, I would do this at 2 different places and compare between the 2, and with the paperwork I got from the dealer when they said I need a new engine, then I would go from there based off what I find. Depending on the results, I would get a lawyer to help with the next steps. And it might be worth going to a lawyer with the guy that now has the car. You both, potentially, but it sounds like it screwed out of a car. See what they say and go from there. Edit. So I dug into this more. I wanted to be sure before I said anything. Manipulation of the odometer is highly illegal. Think about it this way. You are 40 yo and you get a heart transplant from a 20 yo. You don't magically become 20 years younger because you got a younger heart. You will still be 40 yo, but your heart will have less years. It's the same with the car engine. Holy dealership car posts tonight. Batman. This falls under the UDAP law for the buyer. I dunno about you, but this sounds like they defrauded you as well. Which is harder to prove? For the other guy. Yikes. They are fucked with a capital T on that one. Practically speaking, I'd see if he's interested in pursuing it. IMIANALO. He's got the stronger case because he's got very clear laws on his side. If so, I'd say he should get a lawyer. Then ask his lawyer for a recommendation on someone to represent you. IANAL. Mechanic. Carfax only shows what gets reported to them voluntarily by participating shops, while the dealership is certainly going to be part of the program. The repair of your engine may not have been run through the service department in a normal, customer-pay manner. The engine could have easily been replaced and Carfax have no knowledge. The exact same thing happens when a car owner does their own repairs, has a relative fix it, or goes to any of the thousands of garages that do not report to Carfax. If I got drunk and ripped my car into 2 pieces, I could use a second car to make mine whole again. If there was no insurance involved, my Franken car would show as a clean title. No accident car on Carfax. If the dealership was shady, others here can guide you. But the lack of a Carfax report is not proof. http imager.com/a/myab. I am a bot whose sole purpose is to improve the timeliness and accuracy of responses in this subreddit. It appears you forgot to include your location in the title or body of your post. Please update the body of your original post to include this information. Do not delete this post. Instead, simply edit the post with the requested information. Author: you. Never enough. Title: dealer said I need a new engine. Bought my car for peanuts, then sold it without replacing engine. Original post: I brought my car into the dealer for service because I heard an engine noise. The service center said my engine was shot, and the only option was to replace it. I could choose a used engine with more miles for $8,500 or a brand new one for $12,000. Fixing it was not an option. They said it had to be replaced. So I asked them to make me an offer. I still owed money on the loan and didn't want to invest nearly $10,000 on top of that. They offered me a few $1,000, citing that they would have to replace the engine to sell it. So I took the offer and came up out of pocket to settle the rest of my loan. A few days later, the new owner reaches out to me. Dealership left my insurance card in the glove box, asking how I enjoyed the car and if I knew of any problems. I told him my story. Well, that was news to him. They never said anything about a replaced engine. And he paid the full used price on the car. Odometer reading: exactly what it had when I brought it in for service. So the new owner pulled the Carfax and it doesn't show any replacement engine, just some tire. balancing, a replaced engine computer module, and some brakes. Now we're both pissed. What are my options, seeing as they stole the car from me under false pretenses and never actually replaced the engine? The difference between what they gave me and what he paid is over $13,000. Location bought. 4.999987654321751 send DS report issues. QUTV1 ZTJDB1 PVQ. Less than. MLM WVTS FPHE1 WU. Less than. I'd be curious to see if they did an engine rebuild by any chance. While it would not be a $13,000 operation, it's possible once they pulled the engine out of the vehicle, they realized the damage was not as severe, and instead of a full replace they did a rebuild, which would essentially involve replacing a large number of components such as bearings and seals, at the least. Welp. Here's advice that is non-legal for similar situations for the reading public. I recently sold a used car. 1. Never sell it to a specific dealer. They will never match what you can get in the private market. One of the highest paying groups is CarMax. Immediately after an amount you got from the dealer, get it assessed there. It's usually good for 7 days and generally higher than anywhere except a private sale, which is a lot more work. We got $3,000 or 66% more than the new car dealer offered. Point 2. For expensive fixes, always get a second opinion. The $50 to $75 is always worth that peace of mind. I recommend a location-specific service center to confirm they've probably seen it and fixed it, and without just replacing a major part. You generally pay a lesser hourly rate, but there is less overhead, so the mechanics get paid more. E.g. Japanese car care, German car specialists, Scandinavian car mechanics, etc. 3. Don't get your cars serviced at dealerships. Dealer service centers are usually the worst place to get good servicing done. They are more often places used to train mechanics than the places good mechanics go. Think teaching hospital versus established private practice. They often charge more and pay mechanics less because of less experience, and they have to cover the additional time as the new mechs learn to go fast. 4. Just never sell anything to anyone who has any sort of conflict of interest. People suck. I hate that that's true.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.